I guess I have to be less suspicious of all the people in the show? Or do I? Never mind. Sorry. Smiling faces are more suspicious. Hey everybody, welcome back to another Stoneface Reactions. I'm Theta, and we are back with another episode of the Apothecary Diaries. It was an amazing first episode, and we are continuing on into episode 2. Not that it's ever been in question, we've always continued on. Not like I'm saying, well, we started episode 1, fuck that. What's the new show? We are on episode 2. But as is the way that we do things here, first thing we have to do is comments. And our first comment here comes from Rogue Knight from Patreon from the episode maomao. Great video and reaction. Sorry I missed this live as I didn't realize it was going on. I'm glad you enjoyed it. The only thing I have to add that some people miss, not that you did, is what makes someone a eunuch. Again, not that you thought this, but I wanted to add some historical context. Some people think, mistakenly, that it means eunuchs don't have anything down there. Most of the time in ancient times, it just meant that they were castrated. However, some reactors act like everything down there is removed. Now, that it didn't happen, but removing everything had a lower survival rate. Most commonly, it was just castration, since it meant the eunuchs couldn't procreate. Sorry to go on a weird tangent, but just thought I would mention this since I love history and know this fact. Actually, I do think I mentioned the thing that you're giving me credit for having not mentioned. I think I brought up during the episode. What I was apparently referring to was Coptic castration, which seems to have also been done in China, though I have no idea during what time period, where, or even when, or rather, if it was standard. To clarify, and I'm giving myself a notice here to put up a warning message, just in case people get squeamish about these sort of things, and also giving you warning here, obviously, in audio format. Coptic castration is where both the dick and the balls are cut off, and a sliver of bamboo is slid into the hole and left to heal that way. It apparently had a high mortality rate, as you'd imagine, so there are likely many different forms of castration. That's the one that my mind always goes to, because it's probably the worst of them all. If you read about it, those people are made to suffer. I don't know if the point is the suffering, but suffering is just a matter of fact of it. There's an odd fact, though. According to a study published by the Journal of Current Biology, evidently eunuchs on average have a longer lifespan. So, trade-off, I guess. Anyway, thank you for the comment. Next up, we have Kelvin from Patreon. Obviously, the same episode. We've only reacted to one. I admit, that's the first time I've ever seen someone jump straight to leprosy when seeing maomao's arm. LMAO. You mock me, but seriously, I have no idea what I'm looking at there. It looks like bruising, cuts, abrasions, burns, and even some lumps. For all I know, she's infecting herself with stuff and trying to find cures for it. Perrin, I think I'm saying her name right, even asks if she's wounding herself again, and she says yes, so that she can do her drug experiments. Though I guess later in the episode it's implied that she's trying to find a drug to counteract the makeup being deadly, because we see her, sorry, the thing I talked about before, my push to talk is down here and I can't gesture above camera angle. She's doing this to her wrapped up wound, in a scene later in the episode where she's also referring to the fact that people at, Verdigris house also had a problem with the makeup, implying to me that that stuff might have been as a result of trying to find a cure for that. May not be, but that's my read on it now after the fact. I don't know. I don't know how far back in time this is supposed to take place. I don't know how leprosy affected the Chinese population in history. it looked like a gnarly wound, and leprosy was just the first thing that came to my mind. The same way that when they started describing what the concubines and their children were going through, my mind immediately jumped to diarrhea. I don't know. I wasn't even making a joke. I just thought, oh, those symptoms could be a matter of massive loss of liquids in the body. What's a historical thing that killed a lot of people that was ordinary that would cause you to lose a lot of liquids in your body? Oh, diarrhea. Maybe I got diarrhea. I don't know. Anyway, those were my thoughts. We have a board, though, so let's go check out the board. Obviously, we don't have names on a lot of people here. And a current thing that I've been doing is a board changelog, where instead of just like going over the entire board like this, I would bring up names, who's newly added, who's died, who's been reconnected, or had a color change between lines on people. But since this is the first time the board has been introduced, that changelog would make no sense at all. So, as always, though, green lines represent allies, friends, things of that nature. And we have the, what do they call it? Verdigris house here with Granny, Perrin being one of the three princesses. I think these are obviously also the other two princesses of Verdigris house. Don't know their names, though. I did not connect them to Maomao because anything could be at play, right? They only asked, was that Maomao? Was she here? They could be haughty girls who are only concerned about getting their medicine from their local apothecary, have no concern for her. No idea. So, unconnected. Then, of course, Maomao and her dad. Maomao and, oh, they named her. They named her. I forgot to put her name down. Her name is Zhao Lang, I want to say. Top of my head, can't remember. Might be in my notes. Doubt it, though. I think her name is Zhao Lang, because for some reason I was getting her name mixed up with the the daughter here. I want to call her a princess, but she's not a princess. Lingli. Of course, you've got the two lead concubines and their assistants. This one this way, Gokyu and her assistant rather, and Lilua and her assistant. Of course, the prince dead. The doctor, Jinshi, and the assistant guy that's following Jinshi around all the time. That is the current board. Oh, of course, obviously a red tie, because I don't see her getting over the thought that maybe she is responsible somehow for the death of her son. Maybe further on in, but not right now. But that is the board so far. I'm certain that the fact that this seems to be a court intrigue type of show, let's say, that this is going to be a very confusing set of lines the further in we go. At least I hope so. I also understand that there might be some sort of like romance element at play. Not opposed to that, but it's not going to be highly reflected on the board. So, let's keep that in mind. Otherwise, though, as always with shows like this, I have a series of thoughts that I'll go through. We spent about 5% of the episode in a place called the Verdigris House, with its own cast of characters that I have to wonder if we should dedicate any mental space to. It seems like Maomao is now stuck within the confines of the rear palace area, and that we won't be meeting those characters again. For the sake of completionism, however, they've still been added to the board. Granny mentions that Maomao has been setting off explosions for her experiments, which I guess indicates that we are in a gunpowder era of China. But more leaves the question off, is Maomao more of a scientifically minded individual with just testing out everything? Or is there a reason an apothecary would need or want explosives? Granted, they do near the end of the episode state that she's got like an insatiable curiosity, so I may have missed that when I was writing this note, or the fact that I write these notes like in order as they come, and I just didn't go back and add that to it. I will also say I may be conflating herbalism with apothecary in my mind, more so that the fact that we saw her going out and performing herbalism in the gathering of leafy greens and whatnot. I forget what they called the field that she went to, that she told her dad that she was going to. So, for the purposes of note-taking, Maomao narrates in the show what a eunuch is in the context of the rear palace. Someone that is formerly male who have lost an important part of their body. Now, personal opinion, my first thought, if you said that, would be that they cut off their dick. For the more important part of the thought is formerly male. I know that there are many things that can make a man, but I wouldn't think that losing your balls would bring forth that moniker. Not unless you were talking about machismo, or cowardice, anyway. Again, for me, it's the element of what if... See, trying to think here, because I'm not making a joke, for those of you who might think that ill of me. In the parlance of common vernacular, right? What form of text would come about that you would label somebody formerly male? Now, I am now already backtracking in my own head the idea that the ability to procreate is what makes you male, right? Maybe it's a modern day form of term to say that the dick is the male part. I don't know. I'm already backtracking on the thought. In the moment that I had written it, obviously, I thought that's what formerly male would apply to, though. Because it could be entirely possible it's all of the above, right? I think for safety's sake, until proven otherwise, and I know this goes against what Rogue Knight is already indicated, and they obviously have some historical knowledge on this. I think for the safety's sake of my own preconceived notions, I'm going to go with missing everything, and the show can indicate to me or prove otherwise. Because I feel like if there is a reveal where it turns out that they're not missing everything, that can be a happy revelation, right? Versus what I'm thinking now. Something I didn't really feel during the first episode, but something I want to include in my notes as to remember the danger here. Maomao says that the serving girls are expendable and can be killed for even the slightest of infractions. During the episode, it felt like she was playing demure just to avoid notice. But I have to think that the danger element is what I really should have been focusing on. Especially when she says it couldn't hurt to have a peek on the two highest ranked concubines in the rear palace. I have to think that that level of privacy breach must have some consequence if discovered. Like, she's worried about being punished. She says punitive action being taken for leaving a flower with a note written on it. If any infraction is capable of causing death, I have to think breaking the privacy of the Emperor's favorite concubine, deathworthy. It just doesn't feel to me like the show carries that beyond a couple of sentences thought by Maomao. She doesn't act like she's afraid that she's about to be killed. I guess is the impetus that I'm feeling from those scenes. An interesting note is that Maomao says the raise she would get for being literate would just be swiped by her kidnappers, implying that they still have some connection to her, despite having sold her to the rear palace. So either they are taking whatever she earns by what they gave her to the palace, or maybe her dad is supposed to be receiving the money as some sort of compensation and the idea is that her kidnappers are taking it before it would ever reach him. I'm unsure to the element of what she's saying, because it also seems to imply that if she works hard, she will get out of there in 2 years. And the element of her working hard would imply that she wouldn't get out of there in 2 years. It's basically a time thing. So that's why I think I mentioned it during the first reaction. There seems to be an element of play where she could earn her freedom, but if her money is being taken from her by her kidnappers anyway, how is she getting out of there money-wise? I'm just uncertain as to how that aspect is supposed to be working out. Just a note for the fact that this is something I do. I react to the show in its sub form the first time, but when I rewatch to take my notes, if available, I'll do that in the dub. That way I get to watch the show in both versions and can compare the changes in text and the emotion in the voices. I only bring it up now because for a minute or two I could have sworn Maomao and Rudy from Mushoku Tensei might have the same English voice actor. I guess it was just my imagination though, because I did look it up and they have completely different voice actors. In English, I mean. It just sounded really alike to me for some reason. So the poisoning has been covered up by superstition of curses and hexes. Also, the conceit has been introduced that all the Emperor's children have died this way so far, introducing the concept that someone wants to make sure that the Emperor has no heirs, or possibly no more heirs, indicating towards either an existing family member looking to take control, or an outside force to the family looking to leave the throne without a direct means of succession once the Emperor is gone. Say, an advisor, a cousin, etc. Something that struck me was the fact that, her name is so easy to hear and so hard for me to read. Gyokyu never got as frail or sickly as Liao did, and, of course, her child didn't die either. Uncertain how far this rabbit hole will go, or how much focus it might even receive. I could just be digging too deep for no cause yet. Again, I'm still estimating that the show will be a court drama, court intrigue sort of thing. But if it turns out to just be like romance anime and I'm digging way deep into a possible storyline that might not come to play, whatever, we'll keep rolling. The fact that the next time, or the episode end, featured soldiers dying of poison as well, maybe I'm not. Alright, my last thought here. I think Lady Liao is being unfairly maligned by the first episode. Not only did she lose a child, making her current attitude entirely reasonable and understandable, she gave birth to the prince and had de facto positioning to be the Emperor's head concubine. But instead, the show pivots to tell us that Gyokyu, who has been nothing but affable, is the Emperor's favorite one. I don't know. If I thought this was a more simple show, I'd put my suspicions on Gyokyu as having a false appearance and playing the game to get ahead. But I suspect the show will turn out to be more complicated than doing the most obvious thing. Anyway, those have been my thoughts about the first episode. And, if we continue on the path that we're on, I'm sure I'm going to love the show. I wanted to fall in love with the show a long time ago, didn't get the opportunity to watch it. Now we're in it. I say let's go ahead and get into it.
But before we get started,
make sure that you hit the like button,
hit that subscribe button,
comment down below to feed that algorithm.
On top of all that, if you want to watch more shows like this, unfiltered,
uncensored,
and uncut,
as well as some early access stuff,
you can check it out over on the Patreon.
It's just $5 a month, but hey, no pressure.
There's zero pressure in order to do that. It's just a little bit of extra support, and it would be greatly appreciated.
Okay, no pre-opening stuff. Let's see, is the subtitles going to be fixed this time? Nope. Okay. That's just an element, apparently, of the copy that I'm watching. I have been known... By the way, I have to talk over the opening anyway, so I apologize for that. Especially anybody who loves the music. It's just a matter of copyright and editing that I gotta do. So I gotta talk over... Anyway, I have been known to edit subtitles. I do it on all of our Legends of the Galactic Hero reactions here on the channel. So I can look into using the same stuff that I edit those reactions to see if I can increase the timeline on these to actually, I don't know, stay on the screen and be legible. I will say that I have read the lyrics to the song just to see if I could understand what it was referring to. The fact that I had no notes about the opening song should tell you I did not read as deeply. Because, you know, I have made notes about opening music before. Oh, right, and every episode beginning apparently so far has had a note to tell you that this is not a true story based on any real event. Sorry, I realized I forgot to put the subtitles on. And we are watching this in English for some reason. That will be fixed in the YouTube upload. And the Patreon upload.
異民族に組みしたとして村長を取り押さえています。ご指示を。わかった。少し時間をくれ。御意。ところで、玉葉妃の宮に新しい次女を雇う。
Well, that is
なあ。玉葉妃の次女は4人。
That puts into question my entire theory about who's to blame.
それでは上級妃としての矜持が保てない。ええ。ですが玉葉妃は明るく穏やかでありながら同時に聡明で用心深い。
Does not make me suspect her any less, though. I believe that could be a front.
帝の長妃という立場は常に人を疑わなければ命がいくつあっても足りないからな。では新しい次女と。ガオシュン、都合のいい駒が見つかったんだ。
I have to wonder what is used to make the face makeup. If it's grain or rice or something, it could be a poisoned shipment, and that could be an entirely different thing.
悪用できないようにすればいい。簡単なことだ。念のため色目でも使っておくか。
Sorry, the idea of a eunuch seducing someone, just a weird thing in my head. But good to know that his purposes are not clean at all.
引っ越しの準備はできたか？
はい。間もなく翡翠宮に向かいますが、何かご用でしょうか？
いや、用はない。
は？じゃあなんで来た？暇なのか？
玉葉妃にしっかり使えるように。
失礼します。
The fact that she removed his hand from his shoulder in the first episode feels as though it's implying that this is not working on her. Yeah, ew, gross. Plus the fact she's self-deprecating about her own looks.
はい。玉葉様の次女頭をしている本ニャンと言います。
For some reason, she's one of those that doesn't think freckles are a good look.
はい。
翡翠宮へようこそ。お待ちしておりま
This
し
is a
た。
time jump? Did I miss the time jump? That baby got
勝
big
利に
quick.
歓迎してるみたい。今日からよろしくね。
よろしくお願いします。
ここが応接間。お客様を案内する場所よ。
広い。
ここは台所。簡単なものなら作れるわ。ここが今。紹介するわ。翡翠宮の次女たちよ。みんな集まって。
は
はじめまして、インファです。わからないことがあったら聞いてね。こんにちは、グイエンって言います。よろしくね。
私は
I guess we're gonna lose that on
よろしくお願いいたします。
Yinglang?
マオマオ
Yingling, rather?
お世話になります。
翡翠宮では下女を雇っていないので、毎日私たちが手分けをしてやっているの。
玉葉様が快適に過ごすため、次女として当然の務めよ。
じゃあ私も。
あなたはお部屋で休んでいて。ゆっくりしてればいいわ。
特別なお仕事もあることだし。
Do they think she's being abused because of the bandage?
ママを部屋に案内するわ。
お、はい。
見た？あの子の左腕。必死に包帯で隠しているけど、傷跡よね。きっと故郷で親から虐待されて、
Yeah,
高級へ売り
that's where they
飛ば
went.
されたのね。
挙句の果てにはあんな辛い仕事を。なんてかわいそう
I mean, she's not being abused, but the situation is almost exactly the same regardless of the
呼ばれる
fact.
まで待機していてね。
ずいぶんと出世してしまったな。もともと少数精鋭だった翡翠宮。新入りが来ていい顔を
The
させない
fact
の
the
は
bed
分かっ
didn't
て
pivot
た。
down any when she sat on
だ
it
けどあの目は
makes me think it's not so soft.
同情？なぜに？
毒味薬薬やお前の仕事だ。
毒。
Well, that sounds like a horrible job.
いけない。
You actively know she was almost poisoned.
妃のために作られた食事はこの部屋に運び込まれる前に何人かの手が入る。故にその途中で毒を入れられる可能性がある。現に玉葉妃の妊娠が分かった頃、2回ほど毒が盛られた。
Yeah,
当時の毒味役だった次女は
I have to
神
imagine
経を
that
病ん
the
で
face painting is the only venue for poison.
なるほど。それで次女たちは同情を。
それではどうぞ。
この器、色味に異常なし、匂いなし、しびれもない。それらしい毒はありません。花町の家にいた頃は実験と称し、腕でいろいろと試してきた。
また再現。
Yeah, okay.
少
That
しず
explains
つ毒
that.
に体を慣らしてきたから、多くの毒が効かなくなっている。正直、自分は毒味には向かない。でも、この役職はある意味幸運だったな。
I love the cat motif thing that keeps going on though.
皿は毒に反応しやすい銀製のものに変えた方がよろしいかと思います。
jinshi様の言った通りね。わざと陶器を使ったの。あなたを試すためにね。
あの男の企みか。
まさに毒にも薬にもなる能力ね。
薬屋をなりわいにしていましたので。
字が書けることも
I
言
mean,
って
you
い
said
れ
that
ば
when you got here.
お
Oh,
給金
not
は
to
も
her
っとも
though.
らえたはず
My
だ
bad.
けど。
さらわれて連れてこられたのに、今も人さらいどもに給金の一部が送られていると考えると、腹渡が煮えくり返ります。
つまり、
that
自
answers
分の
that
給
question
金を
now
減らして
too.
でもそいつらに酒代を与えたくないのね。あらら。
Are the kidnappers gonna get billed for the shut you break?
次女のお給金じゃ払えないわ。これじゃあ実家への仕送りもできない。むしろ請求するくらいじゃないと。
申し訳ありません。仕送り分から差し引いてください。足りなければ手持ちからも。
ええ、手続きしておくわ。
It's an interesting way to make them pay
毒
for
味
what
役
they've
の
done to
追加
you.
給金危険手当よ。
給料とほぼ同額。人さらいたちに金が渡らない分、得をしたことになる。ありがとうございます。飴の使い方がうまいことで。
I guess I have to be less suspicious of all the people in the show? Or do I? Never mind. Sorry. Smiling faces are more suspicious. because everyone seems so friendly.
もともと手は足りてるんだから。
But it feels like it should be awkward
毒
suspecting
脈
them.
として呼ばれるのは2回の食事と昼のお茶会。せっかく個室になったんだから毒蛇でもいれば実験できるのに。
ママ
おひお呼びでしょうか、玉葉様。
こちらの方がね。
なぜ聞かない？
今日は何のご用でしょ
I
うか。
guess it's like your one
ある
thing,
部下
right?
からもらったものなんだが、味見してくれないか？
パウズ。サイン剤入りですね。
食べなくてもわかるのか？
健康に害はないので美味しくいただいてください。
もらった
I mean, it's not aphrodisiac. It's not harmful, depending on who you eat them with, I
そ
guess.
のお相手から訪問があるかもしれませんね。
なんだ、匂いでわかるのか？
この男、まさかサイン剤入りと知ってて食べさせる。
Literally what I was thinking.
もう一つ、お前に聞きたい件
Oh,
があ
this
る。
is just more testing.
Oh,
Okay, I think I
何
get
でしょ
that.
う。
先日、遠征に出ていた異民族の討伐部隊が毒を盛られた。
毒？
食事をとった多くの兵士が吐き気や呼吸困難を訴え、気分を害するものが出たという。
吐き気や呼吸困難ですか。
食事は近隣の村で作られた。異民族に組みしたとして村長を捕らえたが、とある武官がその場を鎮め、処分は保留となっている。
普通に考えると村民が毒を持ったということになるけれど。jinshi様、食事はどこで取ったんでしょうか。
野営だから外だ。
Oh man, I'm gonna be wrong
器
about
や
the
箸、
grain shipment.
さじなども村民が用意を。
いや、兵士たちがその場で用意したはずだが。何か
Sticks
気
from a
づいたか？
poisonous flower that they were using as
一
chopsticks.
つの意見としてお話しさせていただきます。この花は尺投げと言います。
美味しいの？
いえ、摂取すると吐き気や呼吸困難を起こし
And
ます。
she thought about the rhododendron last time when the
このよ
poisoning
う
first
に
happened here at the
皇居
palace
内に
too.
も毒を持つ植物はあります。
I wonder if they
これ
do.
は葉に
That's
毒があ
hints.
り
Are
ま
they
すが、
giving hints
枝や根に
for
毒
like
があ
next
るもの
episode
もあり、
stuff?
中には生木を燃やすだけで毒になるものも。
燃やすだけで？
なるほど。
聡明な武官がいて幸いでした。村一つがなくならずに済んだのですから。
うん。
ご用が済みましたならこれで。
いや、待て。
まだ何か。
美薬を作ってくれないか？
作る。つまり。
Maybe it gives her something to do. What if she was just thinking about
それ
this?
に準ずるものなら作れます。
ジンシ様、どちらへ？
執務室へ戻るところです。何か用でも？
いいえ、部屋でお茶でも。
あいにく仕事が残っていますので失礼します。
女官たちは気づいていないのでしょうね。ジンシ様が市場への忠誠を図る試金石であると。
帝のお通いがないからと他の男を信女に引き入れようなど不心得も甚だしい。
全く。
妃は
Okay, that's why you
美
have
しいだけ、教養があるだけでは足りない。
a guy like
帝
him
に
around.
対しての忠誠心、低層観念が必要だ。
それを見極めるために。
I was literally just about to bring this up, the fact that there's basically one man for every 2 women here. And even if they can't procreate and they still have sex, lure them away that way.
あんな軽蔑した目で見られたのは初めてだ。
Damn, we know what he's into.
今晩あたり訪問が。それでは行ってきます。
頑張ってね。
はい。
Oh, so maybe I was wrong. Maybe she can leave the rear
失
palace.
礼します。やぶ医者と。
マオマオ様、改めましてガオシュンと申します。普段はジン様の付き人をしています。
Now we got his name.
以後お見知りおきを。
どうも。あれの付き人は大変そうだな。
勝手に私のテリトリーに入って。
こちらへどうぞ。ここにあるものは自由に使っていいと言われています。
Okay, maybe she can't leave the rear palace. I thought she was going out to pick herbs again.
それは呪いの舞か何かか。
こうして紙をふんだんに使えるのは贅沢だな。あとは。
あちらですね。
よく気がつくな。それに比べて主人は。何もしないならどこか行けよ。
どうぞ。
ありがとうございます。
Wonder if I shouldn't have been drawn as this guy instead of the guy who's only good at looking cute.
カカオです。
足りないなら用意すればいいだけのことだ。
でも西のさらに南方で取れるものですよ。
交易品を探せば見つかるだろう。
I'm worried I may have gotten myself drawn as a dum-dum.
砂糖、蜂蜜と粉末のカカオ。これだけあれば
She's
十分
making
だ。
chocolate?
高級品ばかりね。
一体何を
I
作
think
る
she's
のかし
making
ら。
chocolate.
おやつじゃない？
あなたたち何してるの？
仕事に戻りなさい。いよいよ美薬の跳躍。
一度だけカカオを食べたことがある。
Am I just
チョコレー
am I forgetting his chocolate an aphrodisiac? I was like, who's your mother? And I forgot that was the Verdigris house.
の関心を買うために渡したが、残念ながらやり手ババアに出禁を食らう羽目になった。これでよし、冷やして。あとは固まるのを待つだけだ。少し余ったな。あ、そうだ。これなら冷やす必要もないか。さ、洗い物でもするかな。
Someone's gonna find it, think it's amazing, and she becomes famous for cooking, I guess.
夢中になりすぎた。遅くなりました。
とりあえず効力は分かった。
で、どういうことなの？
どうと言われましても。大丈夫です。見せていた。
Wow. Okay, I didn't expect her to check.
いえ、お渡しするのはこちらです。
じゃあこっちは何なんだ？
私の夜食です。酒や刺激物に慣れていると効き目はそれほどありません。
お？ということは私が食べても問題ないのか。
それはおやめください。
冗談だ。
張飛の前でなんて不届きな発言なんだ。けど万が一あの顔が頬を染めながら迫ってきたら、男女問わず理性のタガが外れかねないだろうな。
Except
顔
for
だけは
you,
無駄に
apparently.
効き目が強いので一粒ずつを目安に。食べ過ぎると血が回りすぎて鼻血が出ると思いますので。
今度帝の
I
た
wonder
め
if
に
it's just
作
an
っても
element
らお
of
う
the
かしら。
time period.
マンネリ防止。
Chocolate being so rare that it
いつもの
works
競争剤の
as an
販売は
aphrodisiac.
効くと思いますけど。
参拝。持続の方かしら。
聞こえなかったことにしよう。それから使用するのは意中の相手と二人きりの時にしてください。
そうか。
それでは私もこれで失礼します。あの子、薬を作れるんですね。 頼もしいわね。
I told you, suspicious. Suspected her from episode 1. I still suspect her now.
手を煩わせた。
It's creepy, Jin. It's a creepy move.
ありがとう。
Had myself drawn as a creepy guy.
なるほど。被害者が出なければいいけど。
Oh, he ate one. Got it. Still creepy. Okay. Was that Jinshi up there? Because her implication of I hope there's no victims, and then his, well, I won't call it a glare, I don't know what kind of look it actually was, down at her. And that was one of Gyoku's, sorry, what do you call them? Ladies in waiting? Is that the word? Housemaids? I don't remember what they were called. I might have to make an amendment to the board. Sorry. I might have to make an amendment down to the board about putting in their positions, if I know them, to also help me there. Who sings this? Sorry, it's probably been up on there, but I want to say I've heard these people in a different show. Oh, I'm gonna have to, it's probably be a note if I don't remember this by the end of the episode. Did they do Frieren? Is it the same group that did, I'm gonna try to remember to make a note about this, because it only struck me while I'm listening in the headset, right? Not while I'm listening to it in the notes section. Okay. Okay. That seems to give Jinshi off the hook, because it does not look like Jinshi. Especially with this face, like, this, I don't have the hair to make this work. This face thing going on didn't look like Jinshi. So, off the hook there. Thank God. Didn't get myself drawn as a... Also, Xinglang looks like she's coming back, so good. Maybe then there's hope for the Verdigris house girls and the granny coming back as well. Sorry, I just got thrown by the music thing. I know I was talking thoughts, and now I don't remember what I was saying. I appreciate that there might not be the full element of conspiracy going on, like I thought. I thought this was literally a from the top down, like, maybe the Emperor already has a son, and the son is poisoning off any heirs that might come, so that when the Emperor goes, he's the only option left. And, or, so maybe some import was trying to poison the Empire, and maybe that's why the random soldiers were dying, as well as people in the palace, because whatever was used to make the face paint was also used in foodstuff, thus people in disparate portions of the kingdom could be poisoned by the same thing. And it all turns out to, well, the face paint hasn't been let off the hook, but the soldiers being poisoned in a village has been. Because either they were inhaling something from the smoke, or they were using the sticks as chopsticks. It was one of the two things in my mind. I think I said the wrong thing in the episode, and it was proven to be something else later. The smoke thing, I mean. But I still think that there is a conspiracy. I might be wrong. It might be the thing I said in my notes, right? That Gyoku is actually innocent, and the show is trying to make us think that she's bad. But the fact that when she walked away and said, oh, she can make drugs, how reliable. I feel like that's it. Sorry, I'm reacting to now a comment made in the chat that was said, because I react to these live starting at 11 a.m. EST on Fridays. Alex says the ending singer also did the Witch from Mercury Season 2 ending. Boom. Yes, I literally said that earlier in a different reaction this morning when I said Red Birthmark was my favorite ending in anime. I think I said that during the Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood reaction. Literally brought it up today, Red Birthmark, which is probably why it struck a chord with me when I'm listening to it right now, because I was already thinking about them. It's the same singer whose name is escaping me, because I'm just about individual songs. I tend to not think about the artists. Anyway, yes, that's it. Thank you, thank God. That was bothering me to no end. Anyway, yes, love Red Birthmark. I did the only song in anime that I've done a breakdown on because it applied so clearly to the show. I'm going on a tangent to Witch from Mercury. My point was, she's walking away directly at camera. She smiles in a way that would be not even worth mentioning in a normal situation. But the fact that I already suspect her, and she has this over-the-top reaction style, that this smile seems so much more subdued than the rest. I don't know. I feel like she is up to no good, in fact. But I don't know what her aim is, because obviously I don't think that she poisoned herself. I think maybe she was faking it. I do think she actually poisoned Li Hao. But I don't know to what end. Maybe she's hoping to have a son later? I don't know. Obviously, I'm working on hearsay at the moment. I might be entirely wrong. She might be the most wonderful person in the world, and I am doing what Lessons does when we watch Gundam Seed Destiny, which is just suspecting Durandal because he grins at the camera a lot. Too often, Lessons would say. Other than that, Jinshi also turning out to not be what I suspected him to be, though I didn't have much suspicion. I didn't suspect very much to begin with. I didn't know, actually. I had no idea. He just turned out to be a way that I wouldn't have guessed at him being. Which is to say, okay, there's two aspects to his character. One, he tests people, so his outward persona is fake, and I'm not judging him based on his fake outward persona for the job that he's trying to do, which is, making sure that the girls that work in the rear palace are faithful and not lustful. Not judging him on that. I'm judging him on his internal monologue, which talks about tempting Maomao and actually being attracted by the fact that she's unattracted to him. And his weird, oh, no one's ever talked to me that way before. That element I'm judging him on. Also, I'm kind of judging him on the element that Maomao is judging him on, which is to say, this other guy could find everything I need. He seems pretty good at it. And Jinshi seems really bad at this. I guess I kind of expected that he'd be more intelligent and able than he actually appears to be. But then again, we could still be in the testing phase of all this. I hope. Either way, I guess my last thought is to the element that she referenced rhodahedrons in the first episode. And the next time on, rhodahedrons were apparently the cause of or a clue to what might be going on to what was shown to us in the preview for the second episode and then answered in the second episode. So I wonder if there's an element of what Detective Conan does, or in the preview they show you a thing and it's a clue to the solution to that next episode. If there was something that they said in this episode, which I may have missed, which I will bring up in the notes if I pick up on it, or even suspect it being a thing, that whatever we saw in the preview of next episode, whatever it is in this episode answers it. Like, I mean, obviously, the first thought off my head is we've shown cow nuts, right? If there's something in cow that would cause a person to go delirious like they're doing up there, but it seems like the cow thing had too much to do directly with essentially making chocolate, that I don't think it's going to be a one-for-one application there. I think there has to be something else, if this is even a thing. Because it seems to me that this might not be a thing. Maybe it's something I just hope is a thing. Either way, I think that's it for this episode. I don't think I have any other thoughts that I haven't blabbed about for like 5 minutes straight. So, once again, I have been Theta. This has been Stoneface Reactions, and we will catch you next time. Bye-bye.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching another Stoneface Reactions. If you have an idea of another video we could go ahead and watch, go ahead and put it in the comments down below and we'll add it to the wheel. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let us know what you thought about this video, what parts you liked. And until then, we'll see you next time. Is this too goofy?